Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the CEO of Ocado Solutions, Luke Jensen.
Believe it or not, I do actually have an excuse for the silly music. I am called Luke, and if they come up on screen, I do have an R2-D2. I couldn't take it with me with my hand luggage because they don't travel. They're the size of a washing machine, but I've got several thousand of those. I will show you a movie of them that involves no CGI later. But in the meantime, the main objective of the next 20 minutes is to share a few insights. First, to debunk some common myths about grocery online, and then to share some of what we've learned as Ocado over the last 18 years about what it takes to build a winning model for grocery online. First, Ocado, who we are. I think a lot of you will be aware of the fact that we have a partnership with Kroger in the US, that we have a plan over the coming years to build a national network of automated warehouses to serve the e-commerce grocery market in the US. But 18 years ago, long before Ocado became a provider of solutions to others, it was created as an e-commerce pure play in the UK. From the outset, the concept of Ocado was to harness the very best technologies available to create a viable and winning economic model for grocery online. 15 years ago, Ocado opened its first automated warehouse. 7 years later, it turned a profit. We listed on the London Stock Exchange. Today, Ocado UK's own grocery online business turns over roughly $2 billion. And for every single quarter for the last 3 years has been gaining share from Tesco, from Asda, Walmart, from Sainsbury's, all of whom have multi-billion grocery online businesses in the UK, which is, as some of you may be aware, the most penetrated market for grocery online in the Western world. On the back of that, we created Ocado Solutions, so to bring those technologies to retailers around the world. Now, before I explain how we do what we do, I want to debunk a few myths about grocery online. Myth number one: nobody makes money selling food online. That is not true. Granted, if you're a grocer and you have 2–3% bottom line margin and you address online by just creating more cost in your organization, then you're not going to make money. If you're prepared to rethink end-to-end how you run your business, then you can make money. And this is exactly what Ocado UK has proven, that you can make money, even if you're competing against 2 of the 5 top grocers in the world, you can be profitable. Myth number 2, nobody buys fresh food online. Incorrect. Ocado UK has a fresh participation of 48%, which is higher than the national average of grocers in the UK in terms of fresh participation. And I'll come back in a bit to explaining why you can make and how you can make selling fresh product a great shopper experience online. Myth number 3, it's for millennials. My shoppers don't want it if I'm a grocer. Well, this is proving increasingly untrue across all markets. Again, I cite the UK because, not just because that's where I'm from and I have the accent, but also because it happens to be a market that is very penetrated with grocery online. North of 50% of households in the UK use grocery online, at least from time to time, as part of their shopping repertoire. And that is happening everywhere around the world. And what's very interesting, this echoes what Nina was saying just before me, is that the highest penetrated group is not millennials. The highest penetrated group is families, which of course, I think pretty much everybody in this room knows that what we're really trying to get to is families. So that is definitely untrue. And that is driving tremendous growth in the global online grocery market. There are umpteen projections out there, but all of them are showing high growth. Now, interestingly, in the US has historically had very low penetration. But in the last 12 months, that has started to change at a dramatic pace. And the projection now is that the US will rapidly arrive to UK level penetration. And why do we believe this is likely to be the case? Because there's a tremendous level of pent-up demand. If you look at this data here, so you've got apparel, which is a mature online market, and then you've got grocery in the US. What people are saying here is relatively few of them are shopping grocery online, but actually if you add all those numbers, 61% of the UK population, of the US population, would like to shop for groceries online if only there was a compelling proposition. Now, what is a compelling proposition? You know, we've spent 18 years in this business, and you know what? The good old rules apply. You need something that's compelling for the consumer and that you can make money with that allows you to reinvest in the proposition. Now, there are a lot of dot-com businesses out there that will continue for years and years without attempting to make money. You have to make money, particularly in grocery. It's a tight margin business, as everybody in this room knows. You need to make money. So you need to be able to combine those two things, and that has been the mantra of what we've done, has been to combine those two things. Now, in doing so, you have an array of choices to make in how you're going to approach online. You can pick in store. You can create dark stores. You can do like we do, which is having automated warehouses. From a final mile perspective, of course, some people want to pick up in store, some people want home delivery, and then there's the future. You've got an example here of the future, which is driverless vehicles. So this is an actual test that we've done in the UK with driverless vehicles. As you'll note, there's still a bit of a hitch, which is there's somebody there, a bloke, as we'd call them in the UK, who still needs to take the groceries out of the van and to the doorstep, but we are working on a robot to be able to sort that out. Now, of course, as you do those things and you pull them together, you need to have something that works from a value point of view for the consumer. Now, here are some observations from the US. Now, this is real data. To spare people's blushes, we've removed the names of the companies in question, other than Ocado at the end. So these are real examples of propositions that exist in the US today that are typical of what's available in the US market. So the first column here is a large regional grocer. So they're selling you $100 of grocery for $100, so they're applying the same prices online as in store. And then they're charging you a $5 pick fee and $10 to deliver to your home. So you're buying $100 of grocery for $115. Middle column, an app-based provider, we won't name them, working with multiple retailers. Similarly, they're charging $5 pick fee, $10 delivery fee, but in addition, they are marking up the price of the groceries by 15%. So $130 for $100 of grocery. Now, I don't know who in this room uses what, but that to me is still a niche market of people who are either very time poor or extremely cash rich. Because most of us, and particularly families, do not want to spend $130 for $100 of grocery. Now, if I contrast to what is real data today in the UK market of Ocado in the UK, so we're selling $100 of groceries at market price, so we're matching to Tesco, who are the market leaders, prices every day. We're not charging a pick fee, and we're charging on average less than 2% delivery fee. So $102 for $100 of grocery. Now, when you start achieving that, and you can do so profitably, then this is where this goes mass market and starts really having an impact. Of course, as you do that, oops, yes, that's right. As you do that, you need to have a great proposition for your customers. And that great proposition includes a service element, product element, price element. We've covered price already. I'll talk about service for a minute. The biggest challenge in service in grocery online is making sure that you're getting the right products on time with good time slots to your customers. Now, thanks to the process that we use, and this is not advertising what we do, it's just contrasting it with what you can do if you're picking in store, we achieve north of 99% item accuracy. With accepted substitutions, we achieve 99.7% accuracy in the orders we deliver to customers. That is impossible to achieve if you're preparing your orders in store, because you just won't be able to guarantee that availability of product in store. We have a range of 45,000 products in the UK, which again is way greater than the range of our competitors. And so it's a combination of not just delivering $100 of grocery for $102, but having a great proposition to go with it. Now, that is based on 3 pillars that come behind that. And I would say anybody in this room who either as a supplier or as a retailer is going to be involved in grocery retailing has to think about those things when coming to online. One is a great web shop that drives basket build and repeat purchasing. 2 is rethinking fulfillment in a way that you're really going to take cost out of the equation versus the way things can be done today. And 3 is a highly optimized last mile. I'm going to take each of those in turn rapidly and go through some of the things that we've discovered along the way, which are things that others may choose to think about or use. So, the web shop. These are some of just examples of things that we've discovered with time in the web shop. I'm not going to go through every single one. I'm just going to take a few examples. The thing with, okay, here's the thing, is that if you run a grocery store, you have been in the business of trying things out, seeing what works, improving as you go. The great thing with online is you can do that at a exponential pace versus what you would normally do, and you can use AI in the process. You can actually build in machine learning into some of the tools you're using to be able to really drive improvement in the site all the time. Just a few examples here. So search up here. So this is a case where this is an actual screen from me. Okay? So I've typed BRO, and what comes up there is tender stem broccoli. Now, tender stem broccoli is coming up there not just because that's what comes up when you type BRO. It's coming up because I buy tender stem broccoli. It's come up because it's in season. It's come up because it's available on the website. So you're reducing friction by ensuring that the right products are coming up through search. Another example here, life. This little box here is one of the most exciting things that we've come across and developed over the years. So when you run a normal supply chain for supermarkets, as you know, all of you shop at supermarkets, you go into the supermarket and on the same shelf there'll be different products with different sell-by dates. We run our supply chain completely differently. Every single product that comes into the supply chain is an SKU with a sell-by date. That means that we run a perfect first in, first out. We reduce wastage massively. By the way, our waste level is 0.7% versus 2 to 3% typically in the grocery industry. But mainly, we can present to the customer this little thing here that means that she knows that she will have 3 days available. And this is based on not just the stock that's available today, but a projection of the stock that will be available at the moment the order will be picked for her. This is our checkout walk, so these are just a few things. Again, I'm short of time, so I'll just go for the one up there, the calorie saver. Interesting example. So we were out to try out something that was a money saver. That was saying, you've bought product X, why don't you substitute it for product Y because it'll be a bit cheaper? And because we always do A/B testing, someone thought, let's do calorie saving, and came up with a little thing that says you can save 80, you need 18 minutes walk or 6-minute run to do those calories. Lo and behold, we found out that there was 4 times the uptake for the calorie saver versus the money saver. So that's become a feature of the website, and people love it, and it increases basket size. Moving on to pillar number 2. The movie behind me, here it is. This is Star Wars. There's no music anymore, but anyway, these are the R2-D2s at work. So these robots are moving across the surface of a grid. They've got a hollow underbelly. This is something that we entirely designed from scratch. And they are picking up on every cell product or customer orders to move around the system. There's 72,000 cells at the top of the grid that they are picking from. And the grid itself is three-dimensional, so we're stacking product in an incredibly dense way that allows us to have 661,000 storage locations in that grid. They are passing the product down to picking stations that are therefore highly efficient. By the way, this will be replaced by robots also, but this lady here was picking at 600 units per hour, which is super efficient in any terms. The robots, up to 3,500 of them, controlled by a private cloud in the facility, are running across this grid with an acceleration of 4 meters per second. They're crossing each other with a 5 millimeter tolerance. And they are communicating back to the center 10 times per second for each robot. This is all technology that we have had to invent, create from scratch, because grocery is more complex than any other form of warehouse fulfillment that's out there, because you're trying to pull together orders of 50 items per order across multiple temperature regimes. Now, do we do this just because it's sexy and fun and interesting? No, we do it because it saves money. And here's where it saves money. So I'm going to compare here preparing a 50-item order through a store fulfillment method versus a CFC fulfillment method, so the way we do it. So in a store, of course, if you're going to pick your grocery orders for online through a store, you need to get the products to the store. So you have the usual process of bringing the 50 items into your DC, picking it in the DC and getting it to the store and putting it on a shelf in the store. So 24 minutes. You've got 24 minutes of labor even before you've started dealing with the online element of the process. So this is exactly what I was talking about when I was talking about if you merely take your existing process and just add on top, it's unlikely to work. 24 minutes. You then pick the order. It's inefficient to pick an order in a grocery store, and then you prepare it for dispatch. 50-item order, 1 hour and a quarter. Okay, now contrast with the way you can do it if you centralize and automate. The CFCs, these automated centers, are serving as DCs. So you've cut out your whole upstream supply chain. You're getting product straight from suppliers into the DC. 4 minutes to inbound your product. You then pick at 600 an hour. In 7 minutes, we pick end-to-end a 50-item order. You get it ready for dispatch, 15 minutes. That is an hour of labor saved. Fully loaded, depending on the state, in the US, that's $15 to $20. That's the difference between profitable online and unprofitable online. And that's one of the reasons why Kroger and us have developed our partnership for the US, because that's the difference between profitability and not profitability. Let me move on to the last mile. We have a hub and spoke model in the UK. One question I'm often asked in the US is, why have you chosen to control your last mile, to have your own drivers, your own vans? Well, think of this for a minute, if you're in the grocery business. Your most important point of contact with customers has suddenly become the doorstep experience. People are not coming in the store if they're ordering online. They are having that doorstep experience. Now, do you really want an Uber driver? You know, it's getting hot out here in Las Vegas today. Do you really want an Uber driver to be turning up at somebody's doorstep, unloading frozen goods at that doorstep? That's not a great customer experience. So how can you do that? How can you control that while running the right economics? This is the hub and spoke model we've created for the UK. We cover 75% of the UK population from 4 production points. We did do so from just 2 not that long ago with a hub and spoke model where from the white points to the production points we can do immediacy. From the further points it's next day, but you have a combination that optimizes economics. Here's some real data of a morning in the life of Ocado. So in the clock up here, 5:26 a.m., the day is starting. The little wriggly jobs, they look a bit sperm-like, but they are vans. And every time they ping, they're making a delivery. And so what you see here is a combination of deliveries direct from production sites, and in some cases, see Bristol, it's now 8:30 in the morning, that will have been prepared at midnight, driven to Bristol between midnight and 4 a.m. and delivered at 6 a.m. I'll tell you, nobody wants their groceries at 4 o'clock in the morning, so you're prepared for what they do. And you can see that London is going rather ballistic at 10 in the morning. Now, the complexity with this is basically managing to get the mass to work super well. So we had to completely rewrite routing for grocery, because the thing with grocery and the thing with a website is every time a new order is placed, you want to take that into account. Now, one of our typical hub sites, spoke sites, will have 100 vans doing 2,000 deliveries in a day. This is the number of options you have, 10 to the power of 3,897. How many atoms in the universe? 10 to the power of 88. So this is dealing with a lot more than that. So you need a lot of smart maths to get that right. If you do get the maths right, you get a fantastic van utilization, which is all you're trying to get to optimize your last mile. Now, have we cracked the code? Now, a number of people, and these are some quotes, have been kind enough to say that we have. We have for now, but we cannot rest on our laurels, and everybody in this room will be the same. We need to continue inventing, creating. That's what we're doing. We're investing a lot in robotics, in analytics, in AI, in machine learning, to really try to every day come up with the best solution for tomorrow. The great thing is we've now got a fantastic club with us, and so this group of people are not just clients, they're people who are coming together to be able to develop and find the very best solutions for tomorrow. We're excited. They're excited. Together, we are imagining the future of grocery in an online environment. The one rule that we are sticking to, and I would encourage you all to think about, is you always want to be striving towards the best proposition, but with the very best economics, because that'll be the key to be able to reinvest. Thank you very much for your attention. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day.